Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Regina Andler here with the Harmony and Balance Connection for Women. And here we are with Motivation Monday. This week, our theme is self-regulation. Now, what is self-regulation? Well, regulation means controlling activities or processes, and it's usually by some set of rules, right? Now, self-regulation is the ability to manage your emotions and behavior and depending on what's going on in the situation. It's basically your own self-imposed rules for how you will react in a situation, right? So self-regulation is actually a skill that if you don't have a lot of self-regulation, you can build up that skill. You can always add on to it. So let's move through a little bit of our slides here this morning. Now, self-regulation starts at a very young age. When you're young, say this little girl here who seems to be in the middle of a screaming temper tantrum, what is she learning? From a self-regulation standpoint, when a child has a temper tantrum, such as this child, what they're learning is that there's going to be situations when they're uncomfortable in life and stuff is going to happen. And they're going to learn that as an adult, you're not going to have that temper tantrum that you had as a kid. So they're learning the skill of the self regulation based on what's going on at the time that they're young. Now, here's the thing: limiting beliefs, those belief systems that we grow up with, beliefs are created at a young age. Between the ages of 3 and 8, they say most belief systems are ingrained in you. And that's because of all of this stuff going on. If you're 2 years old and you're throwing a temper tantrum and your parents are responding to you saying that, no, you're not going to get that piece of candy that you want, or no, you can't stay up late, or whatever it is that you're having the tantrum for, you're learning and understanding as a young child what it means to be reprimanded that way. Now, the thing is that when that child has that temper tantrum and they learn to tolerate being uncomfortable with the feelings and a little bit more in control for the next time, they learn to be a little bit more present. So the next time they want whatever it is that they threw the temper tantrum for, they might go about it a little bit differently because they know what they're going to get. So that's building that self-regulation skill. And that, for example, a child who's been neglected at a young age, they may grow up as an adult to think that they're not safe in a relationship, or they lack trust. These are things that you're building as a young child, and they all tie into the self-regulation. Now, according to the VIA Institute, the virtue of self-regulation is temperance. It's how you act and how you respond. The characteristics are self-control and being disciplined, managing those impulses, emotions, and the vices that you have. And the overuse of self-regulation is being inhibited. So that means you're holding it all in and you're just not letting those emotions out. Now, the underuse is self-indulgence. And that's basically doing everything you want to do without thinking about yourself or the consequences to others. So those are what the VIA Institute states as self-regulation. Now, one word about, or a couple words about self-regulations versus self-control. What's the difference? So self-regulation is all about the emotions. It's all about how you respond to things. It's those rules that you give yourself for how you're going to allow things to let you feel. Self-control is more about the physical, the not doing it. The self-control is the not picking up that extra cookie that you want. Whereas the self-regulation is you understand the feelings and emotions behind what happens when you pick up that cookie. So there is a little difference between self-regulation and self-control. Self-regulation is kind of like a thermostat internally. It's your internal GPS that's giving you those feelings and you're controlling it. The self-regulation piece of it is how you control what's going on. Now, there's a few things about self-regulation that you can use to, just to go and do a check on yourself and see where you are with regards to self-regulation. You can, when you feel frustrated, do you take it out on yourself or others, or do you find it easy to let things go? How easy or difficult do you find it to stick with the desired goal, whether it's related to healthy eating, exercising, some other habit that you have? How often do you think things over before you speak them out loud? Do you stop and think? How easy or difficult do you find it to snap yourself out of a bad mood? When something does happen and something's going on, how do you react? What is your knee jerk reaction? Do you sometimes respond in ways that you later reflect on and you feel guilty about your reaction? That knee jerk reaction, you say or do something, and after the fact, you're like, wow, I probably shouldn't have said that. Those are some check in points for self regulation. And here's a few more. Do you say things that you later regret? How often do you feel that you have to apologize for how you respond or things that you say? Do you ever say something and then feel you have to apologize for it because it came out of your mouth without you thinking? When someone's behaving aggressively around you, how do you respond? How easy or difficult do you find it to recognize emotional reactions in other people? And then, last but not least, have you ever been asked to be on your best behavior when showing up for a social event? When I was younger, that happened to me all the time. So here's some qualities about self-regulation and people who are good with this skill. Self-regulators act according to their personal values. Personal values are different for everybody. Everybody has a few different values. Mine are authenticity, transparency, integrity, and contribution. So when I act with my values in mind. You're also self-calming. People who are very well self-regulated are calming. So when something happens, when a situation arises, they can actually calm themselves and take care of whatever's going on. They effectively manage the emotions that pop up. Emotions happen. An anger or a guilty or something might come up. One of those negative emotions might be triggered by something that you're doing or someone around you or some event that's going on. And someone who is good at self-regulation can effectively manage those emotions. Now, self regulators also see the good in others. They look for the good in others. And they're clear about all of their intentions. Self regulators know what they want, and that's what they go after. And they also view challenges as opportunities. Self regulators know what they want, they know what they're going to get, and they're viewing all of those challenges as opportunities. Now, how can you practice self regulation? Did you ever have a mood ring? Do you even know what a mood ring is? So back in the 70s, this thing came out. It was called the mood ring. We talked about it actually last week. And a mood ring was this little ring that you put on, and the substance that was inside the ring could pick up the little changes in your temperature. And picking up the temperature changes, it could tell you, are you in a good mood? Are you in a bad mood? Are you stressed? What is your mood? So self-regulation is like a mood ring. It's getting those emotions in check. Now, when I was younger and back in corporate world, I had this time when we actually had a health fair that came through our corporate business. And they had a little sticker that they put, it was basically a mood ring, but it was a sticker that they put on your wrist. And it did the same exact thing that a mood ring did. Now, now the thing is that if you were in the black, that meant that you were really stressed out. And I was always in the black when I was in corporate world. And then I'd leave work for the day and I'd have my little sticker on, and all of a sudden it would turn to green, it would turn to blue, and it showed that I was more calm. So that used to be a running joke between my dad and I, where he used to call me up and say, "So, how are you doing today? How was your day? Are you in the black?" It was all about self regulation. It was all about me controlling my emotions and how I was responding to things. So, self regulation will always be a challenge, but if somebody's going to be in charge, it might as well be me. I love that quote. It is all about you. You are the creator. You define and decide how you want to react. It all comes up out to the E plus R equals O, the taking 100% responsibility. The event plus your response equals your outcome. You are 100% fully in charge of your response. If you want a different outcome, then choose a different response. Self-regulation is all about you stopping and pausing before you react. So think about if you're in traffic and somebody cuts you off in traffic, how do you react? Do you immediately think, well, I'm going to give them the finger? Or do you start screaming at them in your car knowing that they can't hear you? Do you slide into the next lane and try to cut them off because they cut you off? Do you tailgate them? Our instant knee jerk reaction is what we're regulating. That's the self-regulation piece. So when you find yourself reacting in a way that is not really conducive to what you want, meaning basically you're just trying to get them back in that particular scenario, the better choice is to stop and pause. Now, maybe that person is late for work and they're rushing to get to work, or maybe they're on their way to some kind of an emergency, or maybe they're just a jerk and that's just the way they act. That could totally be, right? How are you going to react? How do you want to feel about it? Do you think they even care or even notice you? Probably not. However, you're allowing them to affect your emotions. Self-regulation means you stop and pause. You feel that bubble up. You feel that I really want to go cut that guy off. I really want to go after that guy. And then you stop and you pause and you're like, why am I letting this affect me that way? You choose to respond differently for a better outcome for yourself. That's what self-regulation is all about. It's about you making those rules about how you respond to things. You respond based on your value system, based on how you would want people to treat you. People are always saying, the golden rule is treat others as you would like to be treated yourself. Now, nobody really wants to be cut off. Nobody wants to have these things happen. However, how you respond pays forward. The universe is, catching all this stuff and you're attracting more to you, more of the good to you when you respond in a better way. You're attracting the bad stuff too. So if you want more people cutting you off, then go and do that reaction and go tailgate or cut him off or give him the finger or whatever. And all you're going to get is more situations of that. The question is, what do you want? Self-regulation helps you take 100% responsibility of your life and create a better story for yourself. So this week for our weekly quest, I just want you to pay really close attention to how you react in those situations. Maybe somebody at work is, bullying you or they're having a bad day and they respond to something that, kind of sets you off. It triggers you. Stop and pause and think about how do you really want to respond to this for the best outcome for you. How do you want to create what comes next? You are the creator of everything in your life, and so you get to choose how you respond. That self-regulation is all about you controlling what's going on for you in your life. So pay attention to those automatic reactions, and instead of automatically reacting, give yourself a 5-second pause before you react and think, is that really the reaction that's going to get the best outcome for me? If it's not, that's you self-regulating. So that's what I've got for this week. And we have our quotes coming up for the week on self-regulation. I hope you enjoy them. Feel free to comment on them in the Harmony and Balance Connection for Women group on Facebook. You can also find them out on the Autumn Ascent Consulting business page. And for this video, if you catch us on the replay, you can catch the replay of the video also out on Autumn Ascent Consulting. If you catch us on the replay and you have any comments you'd like to add in there, please put hashtag replay on them, and I will respond to every single one of the comments that gets posted out there. So that's what we have for today. Happy Monday. Have a great week, and bye for now.